Hello P6 learners. I'm glad you have joined me to learn through this radio program, which is produced by REB with support from UNICEF. I'm Teacher Mary. I'm going to teach you social studies. So all P6 learners, get all the necessary materials that you will need for this lesson. So are you ready for the lesson? Okay, come close to the radio. Very good. So in the last lesson, we learned about international cooperation. And we said this is where countries across the world come together to achieve common goals. So some of the major international corporations include the United Nations, which we call UN in abbreviation. Okay? Can we have a short break and we continue?
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back. So today we are going to learn about UN specialized agencies. We are going to learn about UN specialized agencies. And you could check on page 37 and 38 in the P6 SST textbook. Okay? Check on page 37 and 38. Okay. So like we have said, we are going to learn about UN specialized agencies. And these are special bodies of the UN which perform specific duties. So the UN agencies, they are special bodies of UN which perform specific duties, and they are all under UN. So we are going to look at 4 particular UN agencies. And all these agencies, remember, they perform specific duties, but they are all under United Nations. Okay, so we are going to look at the first particular UN agency. And children, you must be knowing this agency. It is a very common organization. UNICEF, that is number 1. We call it UNICEF. And UNICEF is in short. So in full, it is United Nations International Children's Education Fund. That is how UNICEF is in full. United Nations International Children's Education Fund. So I said UNICEF is an agency of UN. So when was UNICEF formed? Where are the headquarters of UNICEF? Okay, so UNICEF was formed in December 1946 and its headquarters are in New York, USA. So it was formed mainly to provide emergency food and health care to children who were heavily affected by World War II. So the main reason as to why UNICEF was formed was to provide emergency food and health care for the children who were affected by World War II. Okay? So now there are particular roles that UNICEF plays. There are particular roles that UNICEF plays. So those are the functions of UNICEF. Okay, so UNICEF plays the following roles. Number 1, it supports children from poor families in developing countries who are affected by diseases and illiteracy. So UNICEF always supports children who may be affected by diseases. They provide some money for those children to be able to get health care, to be able to go to the hospital and get medical care. And also they provide education facilities. They give them scholarships so that those children are able to study. So the next point is UNICEF provides scholarship for higher education to people from developing countries. So UNICEF does 2 particular roles. They support children from poor families who are affected by diseases and illiteracy, and those children who may not be able to read and write, who have not gone to school, they are also given scholarships so as they go and study. Those who have not been able to access education. So those are the main roles of UNICEF. Okay? So let us look at another UN agency, which we call UNESCO. And UNESCO is in short. So in full, it is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. UNESCO is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. So we said that UNESCO is an agency of UN. And UNESCO was formed in November 1945, and its headquarters are in Paris, France. And why was UNESCO formed? It was formed to promote peace through educational, scientific, and cultural reforms. UNESCO was formed to promote peace through educational, scientific, and cultural reforms. Okay, so what are the functions of UNESCO? What are the functions of UNESCO? UNESCO performs the following roles. 1. It promotes research and the exchange of ideas, information, and culture in order to improve standards of living. So UNESCO, it supports in the exchange of idea, information, and culture so as to improve standards of living in different countries. And they research about different ideas, information, and they give the people in different countries information on how to improve their standards of living. So point 2, UNESCO promotes quality education for all. So UNESCO provides materials, it also sets up buildings, it also trains teachers so as to help and provide quality education for all children in different countries. Let us have a short break and we continue.
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back. So we are looking at UN agencies. We looked at UNICEF and also UNESCO. So we are going to look at World Food Program. World Food Program. And it's always written in different places in as WFP. And that is in short. So children, when you come across such a word, WFP, remember it is World Food Program. So we said it is also an agency of UN, and it was formed in 1961, and its headquarters are in Rome, Italy. Its headquarters are found in Rome, Italy. And it was formed to fight hunger and promote food security. It was formed to fight hunger and promote food security in different countries. So what are the functions of World Food Program? Okay? So what does it do? The functions of World Food Program include 1. It provides food to people in times of war, civil conflicts, and natural disasters. So whenever countries are affected by war, or if there is a natural disaster like earthquake, famine, floods, World Food Program always comes in to support people who are affected by war. It provides food for those people. Because remember, when people are affected by war, they are not able to access food. So World Food Program comes in to give food to those people who are affected by such natural disasters. And also, World Food Program, it helps communities and countries to meet their own food and nutritional needs. So what it does, it helps the people in different countries so as to get to know what are the nutritional needs or what are the foods they are supposed to consume so as to keep them healthy. So it does that through trainings and also guiding people on what kinds of food they are supposed to consume so as to keep healthy. So WFP also helps to reduce malnutrition and hunger. So how does it do this? By providing food for people who may be malnourished or children who may not have enough food to keep a balanced diet. They give them food. They provide food and all the necessary things that will help people and also children not to be malnourished. And also it helps to reduce hunger. For countries which are affected by war, which don't have enough food, World Food Program comes in to provide food for those countries. Okay? So we are going to look at another UN agency, which is number 4. Remember, number 1 was UNICEF, number 2, UNESCO, number 3 was World Food Program, and number 4 is USAID. USAID, which we call the United States Agency for International Development. USAID is in short, but in full, it is the United States Agency for International Development. So USAID is an agency of the government of United States of America. Okay? And it was formed in 1961 by President J.F. Kennedy. And its headquarters are in Washington, D.C., USA. Its headquarters are in Washington, D.C., USA, and it was mainly formed to coordinate the U.S. assistance to developing countries. It was formed to coordinate the U.S.'s assistance to developing countries. So what are the functions of USAID? What are the functions of USAID? USAID performs the following functions. 1. It provides technical and financial assistance to developing countries. So developing countries, sometimes they are always struggling with finances. They don't have enough funds so as to support them to run the country. So USAID always provides financial assistance for countries which are struggling financially. So USAID also provides assistance to countries coming out of crisis like war. So some countries which are affected by war, sometimes they do not have enough funds, they don't have enough resources that would sustain the country to keep running. So USAID always provides assistance in different ways. Financial, provide materials, they provide resources so that the country can come out of the crisis of war. Okay? Point 3, USAID also provides education in developing countries. It is able to provide materials that are needed for developing countries to boost its education system. It also trains the human resource of developing countries. It gives people materials that are needed in education in different ways. Okay, so point 4, USAID also promotes health and nutrition in developing countries. And they do that by giving facilities or materials needed for health that are needed in hospitals. And also they show how people can be able to balance their diets. They provide food to those developing countries. So the last point, which is point 5, USAID also promotes democracy in developing countries. USAID promotes democracy in developing countries. They support the leaders, they support the people of the country so as to make their own choices, to come up with different ideas, and also to be able to develop their countries by supporting their leaders and also having developmental goals. Okay, can we have a short break and we continue?
Come along and play with us.
Welcome back. We are going to look at the importance of international cooperation. Why should we have international cooperation? And remember, we said international cooperation, it is when countries across the world come together to achieve common goals. So why should we have international cooperation. So point 1, international cooperation helps to promote peace among the different countries of the world. So when countries cooperate together, they work together, they always aim at peace, at having peace among themselves. So if they work together, we shall always have peace among different countries. Point 2, it also promotes human rights. So through international cooperation, people get to know what are their rights, and each country is accountable for another country. So they will make sure they enforce human rights in the different countries. Point 3, it promotes trade. So when there is cooperation among different countries, countries are able to cooperate and work together on lower taxes. And in that way, people are able to trade their goods easily. Industries are able to manufacture different goods and they're able to sell them on a lower tax. Okay? So point 4, it promotes humanitarian aid. So when countries come together, they're able to support each other. Whenever one country needs support, the other country comes in and they support them in different ways by providing human resource and all kinds of different resources that are going to support people. So lastly, it promotes justice. So international cooperation promotes justice. Okay, so children, we have come to an end of today's lesson, and thank you so much for paying attention. This has been your teacher, Mary. I hope you'll join me in the next lesson. Bye-bye.